September 22nd. 479 B.C. Battle of Mycale, between the Greeks and Persians. This victory happened in the 24th of the Boeotian month Panemus, observed as an anniversary by the Greek confederates. The Persians, computed at 100,000 men, were completely defeated and despoiled. 479 B.C. The Battle of PlatÄ is also placed on the same day, in which 300,000 Persians under Mardonius were defeated by 100,000 Greeks under Pausanius and Aristides. The loss of the Greeks was inconsiderable, but of the Persians Mardonius was slain and scarcely 1/10 of his army escaped by flight. See August 3. 19 B.C. Publius Maro Virgilius, the most excellent of all the ancient Roman poets, died. 622. Flight of Mahomet. An imposing event, which took place, it is ascertained with certainty, 68 days after the commencement of the Great Arabian era. July 16. 1193. Henry IV, of Germany, and his captive, Richard the Lion, addressed letters from Spires to the primates and magnates of England, notifying the severe terms of ransom agreed upon between them. 1298. Battle of Stirling Bridge, between the Scots under Wallace and the English under Warren, the latter defeated and obliged to retire into England. 1415. Henry V took Harfleur, in France, reducing it to an English colony. 1536. William Tyndale, one of the first publishers of the Bible in English, was burned at the stake at Antwerp. 1554. The Duke of Northumberland with Sir John Gates and Sir Thomas Palmer executed. 1559. Robert Stevens, the celebrated and learned Parisian printer, died, aged 56. 1604. Ostend, a seaport in Flanders, surrendered to the Spanish under General Spinola, after a close siege of upwards of 3 years. To have lost 80,000 men during this siege, and not less than 50,000 English and Dutch perished in the town during that time. 1632. Frederick Borromeo, Archbishop of Milan, died. He sustained an excellent character, and founded the Ambrosian Library. 1646. John Francis Niceron died. An eminent French mathematician and optician, and author of some valuable works. 1662. John Biddle, styled the father of the English Unitarians, died in prison, a martyr to principle. 1688. Francis Bernier, a celebrated French traveler and physician, died at Paris. He extended his travels to the Mughal Empire, where he became physician to Aurangzeb. 1692. 2 men and 7 women executed at Salem for witchcraft. One of them was pressed to death for standing mute. 1703. Vincent Viviani, a famous Florentine mathematician, died. He was the pupil and friend of Galileo. 1708. Battle near Smolensko, in which the Swedes under Charles XII, consisting of 6 regiments of horse and 4,000 infantry, attacked and defeated 10,000 horse and 6,000 Kalmucks. The king killed above a dozen with his own hand. 1735. Peter Brown, Bishop of Cork, died. He distinguished himself by some philosophical writings. 1738. Joseph Everanius died, a Florentine philosopher, of great powers of mind. 1741. In the north of Ireland wheat sold at 6 pence a stone of £14, and beef at 1 penny a pound. 1742. Benoit, a learned physician, died. He became a Hebrew professor at Pisa, and edited the works of Ephraim Cyrus. 1743. George Clinton arrived at New York, as governor of the province, seeking nothing more than a genteel frugality and common civility, while he was mending his fortunes, till his friends could recall him, and with justice to their own characters and interests, to some indolent and more lucrative station. 1761. George III and his Queen Charlotte, crowned at Westminster. 1769. Anthony Genovese died, a native of Castiglione, who acquired great celebrity as a lecturer on philosophy at Naples, and much odium by adopting the theories of Galileo, Grotius and Newton. 1770. Convention of the People of Massachusetts, consisting of delegates from 96 towns and 8 districts, met at Faneuil Hall to consider the grievance of standing armies, etc. 1770. Thomas Lesueur died at Rome, where he taught theology, philosophy and mathematics with great applause. 1774. Clement XVI John Ganganelli, Pope, died. He was studious in his youth, and recommended himself to office by his abilities and merits. 1788. The Oneidas ceded all their lands to the state of New York. 1792. Commencement of the French Republican era. It computes from midnight the first of the first decade of the first month Vendemiaire the first year of the French Republic, one and indivisible. 1796. The English frigate Amphion blown up at Plymouth. Out of 220, 16 only saved. 1803. Angelo Fabbroni, an Italian ecclesiastic, died. He wrote an account of the learned men in Italy in the 17th and 18th centuries, in 21 volumes. 1814. The celebrated colossal statue of Sir William Wallace, the Scottish chief, finished under the direction of the Earl of Buchan. The statue overlooks the grave of Sir Walter Scott. 1837. David Unwins, a distinguished London physician, died. He was a man of literature and science, and author of several valuable medical works. 1846. The Battle of Monterrey, in Mexico, was fought. The Americans, though signally victorious, yet lost many brave officers and men. It began on the 21st and was concluded on the 23rd. 1851. Louis Kossuth, the Hungarian chief, and 35 of his countrymen, were sentenced to death in contumaciam, at Pest, for not appearing after citation. 1851. Mary Martha Sherwood, an English writer of juvenile books, died at Twickenham, aged 77. Her works number about 50, and were valuable and popular, particularly Little Henry and His Bearer. 1852. Philip Mildoler, president of Rutgers College, died at Staten Island, aged 77. He was one of the framers of the American Bible Society, and was an eminent minister of the Dutch Reformed Church. 1854. John Purviance, a Maryland jurist, died, aged 81. He was judge of the County Court of Baltimore nearly 30 years, and left a fine library which was dispersed by auction after his death. 1854. Thomas Denman, an English judge and peer, died, aged 75. He distinguished himself in Parliament, and also in the trial of Queen Caroline. He presided in the Court of Queen's Bench more than 17 years.